presentation on behalf of Lush Academy, and this is about some aspects of polity which are in news, and then we'll be relating those with the conventional topics in our syllabus. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the impeachment process of USA President and the Indian President, and we'll be comparing them. What are the similarities and what are the dissimilarities? So let us begin. Now, if we want to remove any person from such a high position, definitely a substantial charge has to be levied on him, right? A substantial charge which can be, which can indict any person that yes, he is wrong. So these are called as the grounds for impeachment. Now, to remove the US President, these grounds are high crimes, bribery, and treason. Okay. So treason means going against the national interest, high crimes of a criminal or civil nature, okay, then bribery, as you all know, corruption. Okay, so a person in that important post is definitely not expected to be corrupt in any sense. Now, looking at the grounds for the impeachment of Indian President, it is violation of the Constitution. Now, see, our Constitution has 395 articles, right? Now, out of these 395 articles, many articles are very, very important, whereas many articles, they do not have such an important significance, right? Now, which of those articles will our president violate out of 395 articles? And for which of those violations the impeachment process can be begin against the president? All this has not been specified in the Constitution. So we can say that the grounds for impeachment of Indian president are very, very ambiguous. They have a very, very wide connotation, right? There are no specific grounds, unlike in the case of US President impeachment, which are 3: treason, bribery, and high crimes, right? So this is one of the dissimilarities, that the grounds for impeachment of US and Indian presidents are different. The grounds for US presidential impeachment are very, very specific, right? Whereas the grounds for Indian presidential elections are we can say vague, they are very ambiguous, undefined in the Constitution. Okay, so let us take this further. After we have leveled the charges, the process for impeachment will begin. Okay, now let us first talk about the impeachment process of Indian President, thereafter we can compare it with the US President. Now, unlike in other cases wherein if we want to levy charges against a public official, we have to go to the court will remove it from the office. In the case of the president, it is not so. If charges have been leveled against the president, the process will be initiated and completed in the parliament. Okay. Now, parliament has two houses, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Now, first of all, a resolution for impeachment has to be introduced. Where would it be introduced? In the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha? Of course, in either of the houses. Okay, do not be confused that it will be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. The states that is the Rajya Sabha, which is a representative of the states, it has got an equal say. Okay, so either house of the parliament can initiate the impeachment process. After this resolution is introduced, it needs the approval of 1/4 of the members of the house. That means 25% of the MLAs, they feel yes, these charges might be true. So let us initiate or let us go ahead with the impeachment process. Okay. Once this approval is given, then the house will take up its voting process. Now, in voting, we definitely have to vote and get some majority, right? Now, what kind of majority will we need here? Simple majority or special majority? Do we want the impeachment of the president to be easy, or do we want it to be tough? We definitely want it to be very, very tough, because he is at a very, very high position in our Constitution. In the order of precedence, he is ranked first, right? So we want to make it tougher. Hence, a special majority, a kind of a special majority is required, which is 2/3 of the total membership of the house. This is the biggest majority needed anywhere in the Constitution. Okay, so the biggest majority is used to impeach the President of India. Thereafter, this house, the process in this house is completed. So first, a resolution is introduced. It is supported by 1/4 members. Thereafter, voting takes place in the first house. It can be either house. It can be Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Once the voting is done, the process will be taken up in the second house. The same resolution will go into the second house. Now, in the second house, we will go step by step. What is the process followed? So in the second house, we do not need a formal introduction, just like we did in the first house, because first house had already cleared, right, that these charges are going to be taken up. In the second house, the charges are investigated. Okay, investigation means yes, the proofs, the evidences that President has really violated or breached some aspects of the Constitution, this has to be given to the House. Okay, once the investigation is completed, or while the investigation is going on, the President is allowed a say in that. The President can put a defensive argument. The President will defend himself in the House. Okay, then if this is all done, when this is all done, voting takes place in the House. Again, which type of majority is required? A kind of a special majority, 2/3 of the total membership of the House. Okay. Once the second House passes this resolution, the President stands impeached. So this is the impeachment process which is followed in India. Now let us look at the impeachment process of USA President. Now in the impeachment process is taken up in US Congress, just like we call our legislature as the Parliament. In US it is called as Congress. It has two houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Now unlike in India, the House of Introduction of resolution to remove the President is compulsorily the House of Representative in the US. Okay. So in India, it wasn't compulsory to introduce the impeachment resolution only in the Lok Sabha, whereas in the US, it is necessary that this impeachment process be introduced in the House of Representatives. Okay. Then once it is introduced in the House of Representatives, 1/4 of the members of the House of Representatives must approve, must vote in support of the resolution. Yes, we want to carry on with the impeachment process of the President. So in the House of Representatives, this simple process is followed. The resolution is introduced and it needs the support of only 1/4 of the members. So we can say that starting an impeachment process in US against the President is quite easy as compared to the resolution introduced in Parliament against the President's impeachment in India. Right? Thereafter, once the House of Representatives has cleared the resolution goes into the second house, that is the Senate, the upper house. Now in the US, the Senate actually acts as a court while investigating, and this court is headed by the Chief Justice of US Supreme Court. Okay. Now they will again investigate the charges. So here we can find some synonymity between Indian presidential impeachment and US presidential impeachment. Okay. Once the court investigates the charges and if it is proven that these charges are true, then the House votes. Now in the Senate, we can see that a higher majority is required. That is 2/3 of the total membership of the House, 2/3 of the total members of the House must vote. Okay. Once this vote is achieved, this quantity of vote is achieved, the President of US stands impeached. So students, we can see that Indian presidential impeachment process and US presidential impeachment process carry a lot of similarities as well as dissimilarities. Okay. Now it is up to you, how will you present it in the paper. This is the question. Compare the impeachment process of US presidential election and Indian presidential impeachment process. Okay. Here we'll wrap up our today's discussion. All the best to you all for your upcoming examinations. Take care. Bye.